Hey parents, before we start this episode, remember that your family can enjoy hundreds of fun and educational free videos like this one for kids of all ages. Be sure to subscribe to get all the new shows and updates at PragerUkids.com. Welcome to Otto's Tales. I'm Jill. Otto! Thank you! Aha! I know what this is for. You've been researching our story for today, haven't you? Yes. Oh, I love this. Our story is an old fairy tale from Europe. Yes. Some say this story was created 400 years ago. The name of it used to be Little Red Cap. Very good. It's been told in very many different ways. Some people think this story is very scary at the end. Otto, I don't know if I should read this anymore. Scary. Oh, you're right. It's just a story with great timeless lessons, right? Okay, I'm gonna go for it. Okay. Thanks, Otto. Let's read Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there was a little girl with rosy cheeks. She was loved by everyone who knew her, especially her grandmother, who made her a little cap of red velvet. It suited the little girl, and soon she came to be known as Little Red Riding Hood. "Little Red," called her mother one morning, "take this cake and bread to your grandmother in the woods. She is ill and weak, and this will cheer her up. Do not run off from the path." And the little girl nodded, saying, "I will take great care," with her basket full of goods. She set off into the woods. On the path, Little Red was met by a big wolf. He had spotted her at the beginning of her journey and weaved in and out of the trees to follow her closely. "Good day, Little Red," said he. "Thank you kindly, Wolf," said she. Little Red was a confident child beyond her years, but did not know what a wicked creature this big wolf was. "And where are you going so early, Little Red?" "To my grandmother's." "What have you got in the basket?" The wolf neared closer to her now. "Cake and bread," Little Red answered. "Yesterday was baking day, so now poor sick grandmother will have something good to make her strong." "Where does your grandmother live, Little Red?" "A good quarter of a league further into the wood. Her house stands under 3 large oak trees, and nut trees are just below. You surely must know it." The wolf nodded and wickedly thought to himself, "What a nice, plump little mouthful this young creature will be. Much better to eat than the old woman." In his mind, he crafted a plan to catch both. "Little Red, have you noticed how pretty the flowers are about here? Look around. Away from this path, you're missing the most merry and magical parts of the wood." Little Red paused, raised her eyes, and listened to the birds singing. The sunbeams danced through the lush trees. Colorful flowers bloomed everywhere. She never noticed them on other walks through these woods. I suppose I could take grandmother a fresh bouquet. It's so early in the day that I shall still arrive in good time." So Little Red bounced away from the path and into the trees to search for flowers. The big wolf watched her happily prance deeper and deeper into the woods. When the little girl disappeared from sight, he ran straight to the grandmother's house and knocked at the door. "Who is there?" grandmother's weak voice called. "Little Red Riding Hood," replied the wolf. "She has brought cake and bread." The wolf lifted the latch and sprang the door open. Without saying another word, he leapt towards the grandmother and devoured her. He then put on the grandmother's clothes, dressed himself in her cap, laid in the bed, and drew the curtains. Meanwhile, Little Red had gathered so many flowers that she could carry no more, and set out for her grandmother's house, pleased with herself. Little Red was surprised to find her grandmother's cottage door standing open. She entered. There lay Grandmother, with her cap pulled over her face. She didn't look like her usual self. "Oh, Grandmother, what big ears you have!" Little Red approached her. "The better to hear you with, my child." "Grandmother, what big eyes you have!" Little Red continued. "The better to see you with, my child." "Oh, Grandmother, what a terrible big mouth you have!" "The better to eat you with!" And the big wolf bounded out of the bed and swallowed up Little Red. With his appetite satisfied, the wolf lay down and fell asleep. He was pleased with how cunning he had been and began to snore very loudly. But little did the big wolf know that a skilled huntsman was tracking him and was now outside Grandmother's cottage. "How loudly the old woman snores today," the huntsman noticed. So the huntsman gently entered the house and saw the wolf lying in Grandmother's bed. "Aha! Do I find you here, you old wolf?" he said. "I have long sought you." It then occurred to the clever huntsman that the wolf might have devoured the grandmother. So, instead of firing his rifle, he took a pair of scissors and began to cut open the stomach of the sleeping wolf. And there was Little Red Riding Hood. "How frightened I've been! How dark it was inside that wolf!" And then the grandmother came out alive also, weak and weary as before. Little Red, however, thought quickly. She fetched great stones and filled the big sleeping wolf's belly with them. When he awoke, he tried to run away, but the stones were so heavy that he collapsed at once and fell dead. All three were delighted. The huntsman drew off the wolf's skin and went home with it. The grandmother ate the cake and bread and was made strong again. And Little Red thought to herself, "As long as I live, I will never by myself leave the path to run into the wood when my mother has forbidden me to do so, no matter how pretty the flowers might appear." And from that day on, even when she ran into a big wolf in the deep woods, Little Red stayed on the path towards Grandmother's house. The end. Otto! What big eyes you have! Just kidding. Hey, what's that? Cake! For me? Otto, thank you. You know how much I love cake. Let me try it. Delicious. Okay, there are a few great lessons in this story. Should we go through them? Let's do it. First, be careful with strangers. No matter how nice or helpful they might seem, the wolf showed Little Red the beautiful flowers to distract her so he could follow through with his wicked plan. Now, Otto, don't be scared of strangers. Just be aware and smart. Now, second, most of the time, our parents know what's best for us, even if we might not understand it at the time. Little Red's mother warned her to not go off the path because Little Red's mom knew that wicked wolves would try to trick her. Do you have a lesson you want to share? That's a good lesson. Don't talk with your mouth full. Lesson learned, Otto. Thank you for watching Otto's Tales. Check out some of our other stories, too. Keep reading, keep watching, and remember to be aware, wise, and stay on the right path. Thank you for watching. You know we've got more episodes, right? Watch the whole series on our website. And parents, you can subscribe at PragerUkids.com.